In this video, I'm going to show you quickly how you can send keys using the type text command. So let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. We can use the type text command in order to type text into a text box such as this one. I'm going to type hello world and press run. And in this particular case, we have options. We have a button here where you can search, and we have a button here where you can search. We don't actually need to press the enter key. However, in some cases, you may need to actually press the enter key. And so the question is, how do you do that? Well, the type text command has no way of just pressing this enter key. If you come down under advanced, you'll see that we do have a key event section. However, it doesn't say anything about an enter key. Now, I'm going to show you one option, which I don't recommend, so make sure you watch after that. This isn't the way to do it. This is just one way to do it. So we have a plugin called Windows Commands, and you can go to Tools, Plugins, and then look in that window that pops up, and you'll see that you will have a plugin called Windows Commands. It comes with Ubot Studio, and there is something called a keyboard event command. And if you look under the key, there is an enter key. And we can select the key press event. Now, if I click on this text box and run this, it actually doesn't work in this particular case. And I don't know if that's just because it's Google or what it is. I haven't looked into it, but it does not work in this particular case. That being said, it may work on some websites. However, it's not a good idea to use this. I'm going to tell you why. The Windows commands sort of take over your computer when you use them. As you can see, this keyboard event just says, what key do you want me to press? And then how do you want me to press it? It doesn't say, where do you want me to press it? You're not saying press the enter key within this text box, for example, which means that if you're running a program in the background that's using something like the keyboard event, and then you're trying to use your computer and do something else, when Ubot hits this command, it's just going to press the enter key. You can be in a totally different window, like say Microsoft Word, and it'll just go to the next line. And the reason for that is because it's just pressing the enter key and it's not specifying where. So try your best not to use the Windows commands unless you really need to use them. And when you are running a program that uses them, don't use your computer otherwise. So let's get rid of this because it's not a very good solution for those reasons. Instead, we can actually send the enter key through the type text command, which is what I want to show you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this type text command. I'm going to use Control C and then Control V to do that. And I did that so that we can keep this element selector code in there intact. And so I'm going to get rid of this hello world, and now I'm going to send the enter key separately. And it's important to do that. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to type an open bracket, and in all caps, I'm going to type enter, and then a closed bracket like so. Now I'm going to get rid of this hello world so it doesn't type twice. I'm going to click away from the text box, and we're going to run this. As you can see, it types hello world, and then it sends the enter key. So let's go back to Google. And let's see what else we can do with this, because actually we can send more than just the enter key. So I'm going to type hello world here, and now I'm going to change this. Let's say we wanted to type a tab for whatever reason. You know, for most of these, honestly, you're probably not going to use them. They're not going to be that useful. However, the enter key is actually useful because not every website has a very clear way to click on a search button. And also, most websites will accept the enter key in the same way that they would allow you to click on the search button. And so it's one less thing that you have to worry about in your code later. In case they change that search button, you could just send an enter key and not have to worry about that. They can change the search button code and it won't affect your program. So let's send a tab key. I'm going to run this. As you can see, the text box is no longer selected. I'm going to run it again. And now you can see that the Google search button is highlighted. So we can see that that seems to be working. We can send a backspace. Again, you're probably never going to need to know this, but the fact that you can do it is pretty cool. So I'm gonna right click and hit run. And as you can see, the text box was not selected before that. So that's pretty cool. I'm sending a backspace within this element. So I'm clicking away now. The text box is not selected and I'm gonna hit run node. Now, one other thing is I can send 2 backspaces at the same time if I wanted to. Like that. And of course, that means if you can send 2, you can probably send a bunch. Again, this isn't necessarily going to be the most useful thing, but the enter one is, and now I'm just showing you what else you can do with it. So let me put the cursor before the first L. I'm going to send a delete key now. Press run, and we can see that one of the L's now has gone away. There's 2 more I want to show you briefly. It's home and end, and I'm just going to run through them real quick because I want this to be a fast video. So there's the home, press run. You can see the cursor jump before the H. And now the end. Press run and the cursor jumps to the end. Now there may be more keys. I really haven't tried any more than this. The main reason is because you'll probably only really use the enter one. So basically all you need to remember is that you type an open bracket, then you type in all caps, enter, or backspace or tab or whatever you need, and then a close bracket. And also remember that you want to send it separately from the first request. So that's going to do it for me, and I hope to see you in the next video.